Good evening, everyone. How you doing? And a water bottle. Get some sound check shortly here as people get on. I'm not doing any preludes like I've done the entire week. No prelude.
And I'm eating brownies, so
that's okay. You can eat. I ate, like I said, I gorged myself with ice cream this time last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, I got to turn the sound off here.
He said he'd be right here.
Oh, he's almost here?
He said he was doing something with Luke and then he'd be here.
yeah.
Doing something with Luke. We're just trying to straighten out. How's everyone? Let's see who we got on. We're starting to roll in here. Let me hit the high button here. This is not optimal for me, whatever this is. Keep this. Good, it's not blocked by the camera. Alright, how's everyone tonight? Feeling better?
Nope.
So introduce who we have on right now, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I'm burnt out as along with almost everyone.
Yep.
Exactly. Aaron, we got Aaron, of course, with us here to start
Hello.
off.
Yes, you did.
Introduce yourself, my young
Yes,
lady.
because I
Who
thought
who are you? 'Cause
Yeah.
the world wants to
Bring it to me
know.
and I'll
I am Julia. I am wife
I
of
gave him
Gareth.
one.
On and on and on and on.
Yes.
Yes.
Your wife is
Josh is on a special assignment getting Gary Con broken down right
Yes.
now, so that's why we do not have Josh on, but I imagine he'll be hopping on.
Yeah, he was just trying to distract us.
Who's that?
Josh, he's in the closet telling me that I've got an extra DM screen in the closet. So
Oh, okay.
anyway, he's headed this way.
Good. Introduce yourself, my sir.
Garner Andrews, Chaotic Good Gaming. So you can go to chaoticgoodgaming.com or it's all spelled out at Chaotic Good and then GMNG on Twitch and Twitter. But I do a lot of stuff, but the main thing that I'm here for is because I've led social media and communications for the con. So
Yes,
we can talk about other things later.
And some really great stuff.
Thank you.
What I've seen, it's
And I cheer on Jay whenever he is DMing. I want to make sure that the monsters do well.
So you're
Yes.
the culprit to that.
I was the one that was,
Yeah, he was
yes.
there.
So
Damn,
yes,
when we
I was
played
there the
with
whole
Ed,
time,
you-
yes,
Oh,
with
damn,
you and
and you
Ed
sit there
and Bill and trying to make sure
Damn.
that Chuck died, but Chuck didn't die, so.
well, I did get, and I apologize after the fact because we had the technical issues during the Ed Greenwood game. And then, fortunately, one of the 42 Gaming was there and actually had this massive mobile hotspot. But I couldn't keep track of DMing for that group and monitoring Twitch. And so Troy did a bunch of cheers I wasn't aware of.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have them, and I apologize to him, and I have them preset for next time we have an Ed game. So it's not. I mean, Ed had a special, and I had two specials, so we got them, and I missed it along with some other things too. So, what's up there, Enoch, Goblin? Good to see you. So people be rolling in and out here. You know, we always have this impromptu chat. We had one on. Hey, Nicholas. Good evening. We had one. Wednesday night, and we have this one on Sunday, and people will be coming in and out. A lot of the communities here, a lot of names you'll know, a lot of streamers you'll know, and it's been unfortunately, I got a cold when I came here, not from anyone here. I think I got it from my wife, and that I just have been. I feel this is the best I've. Believe it or not, I don't sound like it. It's the best I've felt in a while. So that Wednesday night and Thursday were rough. Yeah, you said,
I don't think-
said it looked like hell on Thursday.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Thursday was the worst day. So.
Yeah, you got here and looked like you already had
Yeah.
been to a con when you got here. After 6 hours, we were afraid of you pooping out there, but now you're better again. That's good.
We had, and so I got some pictures scrolling through. There's probably gonna be a lot more coming, but I highlighted a lot of pictures of what's been going on. You see that scrolling through from the games and some others, and there's some highlights and some wonderful things that happened. But it's been another good Gary Con. Hopefully we'll see. We'll get some other guests. Hopefully Luke maybe will be able to stop in. I did ask him to stop by. Dave Conant and a couple other people we'll see in this 2 hours. And note after that I will probably crash because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My flight's at 8 o'clock.
You enjoy that. I made sure I got a decent time on my flight.
Yeah, I need to get home. Just get stuff done. Start a work week, which I'm not looking forward to. So give us a highlight, man, of the con.
So the highlight of the con was, without a doubt, the auction. So the charity auction was by far and away the highlight. We did, so last year it was incredible. We raised over $30,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project last year. We were so excited about that. And so for me, and I've been doing a lot of things with communication, but one of the things that Luke asked me to do was handle the communication and basically hosting Children's of Wisconsin and then working obviously with Extra Life, who does the work with Children's of Wisconsin and their Child Life program to make sure that they were taken care of and everything else. So they were my guests. We had two young ladies who have been patients at Children's of Wisconsin. Both of them, they have allowed us to share a little bit about them. But one of them had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and stage 4, by the way, which they were able to bring into remission. But Hodgkin's lymphoma, and the other one still has a pain disorder that basically disables her. So anytime small things happen, like it gets out of hand on a regular basis. And so anyway, two wonderful women, young women that spoke to all of the people, and obviously what the people at the con heard was inspiring, because we went from $30,000 last year to $52,000 this year, and for me it was like, it's been a very hectic con. There were lots of things to do on Friday that we had to chase down and take care of, and I think we were all a little bit frazzled. Yesterday was so good with their experiences. The young girl named Amara, she loved playing in her first role-playing game, which was actually with the Glimmering guys. So she loved playing in that and having a great time. But the fact that all of the contributors, both who made some incredible products for us, and like some of the miniatures, and with Natalie's little crocheting thing too, but with the fine woodworking and other things like that we saw. There's so many people that donated so many things that were great, and then there were so many people that bid on and donated again to the charities, and those things were so incredible that we raised over $52,000. So that was the highlight, absolutely.
Yep.
So
When Joe Manganiello, and I guess the guy who does work on Vox Machina, the other guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he is.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know his name, but I know exactly who it is. And I actually had a chance to go and thank him for everything that he did. But those two guys battling it out for the
Sandal.
for the sandal, and who gets to take care of the sandal of Gygax for the next year. That was incredible.
5,500 was it?
So what was the? No, I think it was 5,500. 5,500. You're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
To have an old sandal for a year, but it's
Oh,
not
yeah?
any old sandal.
Oh
it's
no.
the
So
old
if
sandal.
anybody doesn't know, you want to
Oh, please, you know more about the story than I
So
do.
the sandal. So before he was totally into gaming, Gary had to have a real career that could bring in the money, but he needed to be able to do it from home.
Yeah.
And so he was a cobbler. He made shoes, and this was one of the very last things that he made. It was a pair of it was a pair that used to be a pair. It's only one now, but of women's sandals. This sandal that he made is now something that gets to be passed around from one donor to the next, and thanks to the very first person who actually bid on it, because they started this, so that it is a great, fantastic item that raises tons of money for us every year.
Yeah.
But they bid on it, and it was going to be theirs, and then they started something that literally brings in more money than any other item in the auction every single year. And this year Joe was all in, and
Yes.
can't say thank you enough to Joe for what he's done. One other thing about him though is that he already does a lot of work with Children's, but it's Children's of Pittsburgh that he does a lot, and he's been in there and teaching people how to run Dungeons and Dragons, and also providing a lot of product and other things like that the Children's of Pittsburgh. So it was a great conversation that he had with the team from Children's of Wisconsin as well too. So fantastic philanthropist. So
it was impressive just to see, and a lot of those gentlemen. I didn't know who they were bidding, but the guy with the red hat, it was just like, oh my gosh, it's like one after another. Josh stepped up too, I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty
yes, he
good.
did.
That was pretty good.
And beat out Guppy on
It's hard to beat out
cards
Guppy
and stuff
too,
like
right?
that. That's right.
Yeah. Hard to beat out Guppy on stuff like
Well,
that.
if we're going to say thanks to Josh, we got to say thanks to Julia too. So. Yeah.
He was good. He did have a budget, and he just went over his
Oh,
budget.
okay. Well, that's
he
good
was
to
good.
hear that there was a budget.
He
So he had a
behaved.
budget, yeah.
He did have a budget.
Very, very.
He set the budget though, not me. So.
Oh yeah, but
So, I said hello. Okay, well, I'll move it a hair closer to me.
Yeah.
It could be just me being burnt out and having voice issues. So, yeah, Mike's been home for 24 hours. Mike drove home, I guess, yesterday. So, why was Ed about to grab your chest? Because it's Ed. I'm trying to, because that is Ed Greenwood there, Bane. Yes, so we can talk about that too. Ed's a legend, and it can be dramatic.
Yeah.
That prom photo, right? Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes, exactly. So it was just so great to meet so many people in person this year.
oh yeah, it was.
So
I think I met way more people in person. It feels like this year compared to previous years. Yeah.
you
It
got,
was
you got
just
a little, yeah. After coming multiple times, you get a little cred there, and people
Yeah.
are a little bit less hesitant not to approach. Does that make sense? They want to chat you up and all. I mean, so many people. I'm shocked at how many people. Like Alan Hammock said hi to me about 12 times. I was like, oh, hey, Jay. I was like, oh, cool.
Yep.
So and got to meet some people I didn't meet last year that I knew that were here this year. So
Yep.
and we got some probably not official announcements on all the shows, the talk shows that we'll do that near the end. The talk shows that'll come off of
oh yeah.
the networking we've done
Several.
here. So yeah, I am way better, Alex, this year than I had last year when the Concord was starting to really come in at this time.
And
last
we'll
year.
see if
I'm over it now.
Yeah. If I flown home today, I will be fine. But we'll see tomorrow if Conrad might have erupted or something. We'll see. Yeah. I feel okay now, but it's not more than okay. I feel like I'm really tired.
Oh yeah, fatigue. Well, fatigue's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I know you worked a boatload with stuff, and Josh and all the volunteers, and I probably did too much this year as well. I mean, so when you DM at a con, you're going to DM the style you play in. That's the worst possible scenario for a miniatures and terrain DM. Which means I got to bring something.
Yeah.
And I DM'd 3 different games. I didn't DM the same adventure over. I DM'd 3 completely different games this year. So,
Yeah. So you had to prep and
character sheets,
Yes.
different sets.
Yeah.
Terrain, scenarios, screens, the whole thing. And I
3 times over.
Yeah, and I figured that out about a week before. Like, oh my God, I think this is too much. Plus, then we did what? We had Fantasy Mapping Show. We had Legends and Lore. I did something live from Lake Geneva Museum, and then we did a couple Gabbins, and I streamed the Egg Game, which I want to say thank you. It's probably not on, but because he was just 42 gaming. Saved our butts for that when we had the tech issues. So it was a lot, and I'd probably cut it back a little bit next year. But then again, who knows how
Well, so I've got a couple of solutions, right? So the first is when you're signed up to game or to run too many games, make your daughter run half of the games for you.
Yeah.
And which I did. And then the other thing is when you have to bring a lot of crap with you, and you know that some of those gifts that we did that we had to bring with us.
Yes.
So then also make your daughter drive from Atlanta. all the way up too. So yeah, so
See, you,
anyway.
you got it set up right here.
Oh, I'm glad you could
I
answer
just-
that question live. That was great.
Yeah, no problem.
2850 was the total.
Roughly, I don't know what the final was, but that was close.
We heard there were a lot of non-pickups of.
Oh,
packages.
but then so there were non-pickups of packets, but then we could sell walk-ups as well. So then we ended up being able to
Oh, that's
sell more
great.
walk-ups because they were non-pickups. So
That's good.
Yep.
That's good to hear. Because I was surprised on that. But then people's plans change and all. So.
Yeah.
yep.
All right, Anna. What's a highlight for you?
A gaming with Ed. Live, yeah, in person, because I've done it several times virtually and we've had conversations and stuff. But so gaming with Ed live, that's on the bucket list. And also today I had a really awesome conversation with Ed. We talked about the upcoming projects of various kinds and stuff, and he wanted to come on Fantasy Mapping Show and do another one about Forgotten Realms maps.
Right.
So that was coming, and we talked about some other cool stuff that I'm not going to spill any beans about yet.
What does that guy know about the Forgotten Realms? though? I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah. Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, but when Ed Greenwood wants to talk to you about cartography and the realms, you listen. So
That
to
is
speak.
awesome.
So, yeah. So you so there's some ideas and stuff around there too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know the last time we had on, it was our number one viewer averaged fantasy mapping show, period.
Yeah.
And when Ed showed maps he had made, one was from 1968,
Yeah.
two were from 72. I'm
Yep.
thinking to myself, that's like years before D&D even existed. So he
Yep.
was
Yep.
coming up with this fantasy setting
Yep.
without a game system.
Yep.
I was like, hey, he's making maps. I was
Yep.
like, this is insane. And so I'm interested to see how he's going to attempt to top it.
Yep.
And the next fantasy mapping show.
Yeah, we had some ideas in that
that's great.
direction. Yeah, and
That's fantastic.
and my seminar was kind of I think it went really well. The problem was not perfect because half the audience was shell shocked. They probably came there not knowing who I was or what I was doing and thought that I would teach them to paint like little pretty mountains
Yeah,
and little
the
cute
one guy,
rivers.
when I walked in,
Yeah.
the one guy was saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they were like, I'm no clue what how this works and so on. So I'm thinking about doing 2 seminars next year and do like an introductory seminar to prep them for the onslaught that will come and have some sort of little guide to download and what I'm talking about. So that's an idea, so to speak. But I got lots of cool feedback and a whole bunch of, I think 10 new patrons or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good. And I also must point out another cool seminar I was at this day. It was the future of D&D. I thought it was going to be a seminar with a couple of people talking, but it was actually a group, and we did a recording and we sat around, and there were a bunch of people who worked for Wizards and stuff previously, and really a lot of people that knew a lot of stuff about it. So that was a really, really interesting conversation.
Sit down, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move my stuff.
So
John's.
so there's
I
been
got it.
a bunch of stuff that happened. So I really feel like this con have been filled to the brim with interesting stuff and I also helped out a bit. I've done most of my convention help have been emergency graphics creation of signs, vouchers, tickets, and various stuff like that.
Yep.
So that has been my thing. I even had to do a little emergency like that during the end game. So things happen. So yes, but it's awesome to be able to help out. And also the first con that I've stayed here at the convention, which was kind of really, really neat.
You need to stay here.
Yeah, yeah,
It changes things a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unless you got a system down like you guys.
yeah,
But even we stayed on site this
We're on
year.
site.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was-
So,
Yep.
go introduce yourself, gentlemen.
yeah.
So everyone knows who you are because you're regulars in the Twitch.
Everybody
show.
knows that guy.
Everyone knows this dude.
That's Curtis.
Everybody should know you.
Curtis CBL. How you doing? Shout out to all the miscreants and all my buddies. Not hitting the wall by any respect, but I felt this week it was a good one.
Oh yeah.
I've had my fair share of spotted cow. Ran my first con game this week. Went really well. Ran into a little buzzsaw tournament night, but we still had a top 5 finish.
Justinius is on right now.
Oh,
Con-
awesome.
Congratulations,
Right.
Greg.
Congratulations.
I did run into him this
Yeah,
morning.
me too.
His,
And did
his,
you guys get the trophy?
I don't think they've seen the trophy yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
But they had a good team. They did real well. But
You
then-
played with Mike Merles. What was that? Merle Rasmussen.
Merle
So-
Rasmussen.
Yeah.
We got to meet Merle Rasmussen, played in
Yeah.
the top secret game. Got to meet Doug Niles, ran in one of his games. We had a great schedule this year.
Yeah, cool.
So, we're bookending our time like we did last year with volunteering. Where's Josh?
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Where's
get it.
Josh?
He'll get it.
Where's
gotta watch
Josh?
out.
I got to keep head on a
Otherwise, he's
swivel.
going to rope us back into work.
Exactly. We have to. Yeah.
So, even though I was semi-conscious, I watched Curtis game master a Champions game.
Last night, but
Last
yeah,
night.
an off the grid open table game with some colleagues of ours
Yeah,
here,
that was pretty cool.
and that was actually my first game. I was D&D starting circa about 85. I started Champions in 83. It's an old school system. That circling back to it, it was great. It was a really good week. Started hitting the ground running, and it was great.
I mean, now, later, whenever you
Oh.
come in.
Oh please,
Yeah.
we have royalty. It's Dave Conant.
Yes, Dave Conant, everyone.
Oh, hang on a second. So,
Congrats on a great con.
Thank you
Yes.
very much. It is wonderful to be at the end of it.
yeah.
But man, was this thing a fun ride.
Excellent.
Yeah, good show. So far, had nothing but good comments from people. We've had good attendance. Everybody is talking about how appreciative they are of the staff here at the hotel.
Oh my God.
So
that's
man,
fantastic.
they
Yeah.
do just cranking anything we need from them. They're doing it. So yeah, everything just went so super smoothly.
We had Garner really gave us a fantastic, wonderful chat about the fundraiser, which was blowing away everything.
That's you.
Sit
That's you.
down,
For you.
$52,000.
We just summoned him.
This is for
I
me.
imagine that's a
spoke his name
highlight
and he
for you, but
arrived.
besides that highlight, give me some other highlights of what you really liked this year.
I really enjoyed seeing the costume contest start up here.
Yeah.
That thing.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those costumes were just amazing.
Yeah.
We filmed it, right? So it should get up online sometime.
Yeah. Was that the first year that was an official?
This is the
contest?
first one.
Okay.
It was
cool.
funny
Yeah.
because Lisa's like, she's like, and I think we got 25 signups. That's not good. No, or not. That's not bad. And I'm like, no, we limited it to 25.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people dressed
No,
up.
there were.
25.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Oh,
there,
yeah.
there were tons dressed up.
Yeah.
But we had a lot more applicants than we could handle. So.
Oh, but that's
was awesome.
great.
Well, because we're up against time, right? We go straight into the
Exactly.
Gary Gygax
Yeah.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yep. So
Right.
they wanted to make sure they had enough time for to ask them a few questions and
Yeah.
show off their costume and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't want to just march them through. So yeah, we limited.
Yeah, but it's still fun if there's even more people coming in costume
Yes.
because that makes it more of a festive occasion. So.
Right.
Yeah, B was dressed up as an elf or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, an elven bard. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of great things here. So that's a wonderful highlight. How about surprises for people like that can, I know having Ed here was wonderful for us because we played together with him.
Yeah.
Just having him in person.
It really was good to have him here again.
How many year absence was it? Was it like 6 or 7 years?
Yeah, something like that. I'd say 7 probably.
Because he's such a charming, witty, and quirky person. Oh, look at what! Oh my gosh!
Nice.
Yep.
Yes.
What the?
That normally
Nice.
doesn't happen at home, John. Yes, that's normally not what happens at home with Josh there, but right on the table.
Take that
So,
too, then.
what else?
5 seconds, Cal.
What other wonderful things?
gonna have 2 in
Gosh, there's so many. There was, I think just looking at the dealer room, it really was a very busy place. We tried. There's been some controversy around the dealer room being down in the forum and it being farther away from where the games are at and things like that. But it truly is the best place for the exhibit hall at this site. We've been working hard to try and do more things to get people down there and all that kind of thing. One of the things that I've heard, I actually had some negative aspects about this being where it was but we had the signing, the autograph table
Oh, yes.
down in the exhibit hall.
That
And
helped.
I was actually against that, putting it there, because I thought it was going to create havoc in the lines and create a place where the exhibitors that are near there weren't going to get people at their booth and all that kind of stuff. And really small amount of that type of thing did happen, but nobody minded, and everybody loved the fact that
Yeah.
that autograph booth was down in the exhibit hall.
That was a great idea.
So overall,
and-
it was a success.
And it was well staffed. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a bunch of the folks down there autographing.
Oh,
So
that's great.
so yeah, everybody
watch to see her
got loads of compliments about that. So that's probably going to stay too.
Yeah.
So Dave, I also heard a number of good things though from the people that were in those conference rooms that were right in the building number 2. No, yeah, building number 2.
Oh.
No, all the way down there.
Yeah,
by the
Westgate
forum.
room.
Yes, Westgate, and they were very appreciative. They said that it was very good for bringing some people in
Yeah.
to some of those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we Josh and I purposefully scheduled a lot of the events that were hosted by exhibitor staff.
Ah, they can work.
In those rooms,
Yep.
so they were close to the forum as well.
Yeah.
But there were other events held
He's giving
there
me
too.
way more credit than I deserve, but thank you.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, those and there's a really nice. It feels like they're kind of a ways away from of the other events, but there's some really nice benefits to those rooms too, and that is that there's only 4 tables in those rooms, so they're nice and quiet.
Yeah. But he always felt that there was things going on over there, except the exhibitors themselves. So it was always kind of cool to go over there. There were things in the lobby.
Yep.
Always things going on. There were food opportunities and stuff down there as well. So
Yeah.
so it seems.
That's another thing too. Just another call out to the staff here at the hotel. These guys, they had a shortage of staff in their food service area
Yeah.
this year, like most companies have this time. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong, but there's so many companies looking for help. These guys are no different, and I think they said they had 28 serving staff to manage serving table side service to all of the rooms and the forum,
Yeah.
and they did it totally successfully
Yep.
over the whole weekend, and everybody was just loved the service that they got from those guys.
Yeah.
So
And the,
kudos to
The
them.
gentle lady here has been fantastic.
Oh,
every
yeah, she's
night,
been
and
awesome.
Taylor,
They've been- yeah.
serving, I mean,
Yeah.
just all of them.
Yeah,
It's just
and
Bartenders,
Yeah.
Yep.
the
Yeah,
clerks in the
there's-
restaurants.
There was a bartender named Aaron that, like, they got him to come back
Yes.
specifically to help us out. So that was awesome.
I talked with him for a while last night. Yeah.
Yep.
A request from Baker, Annie, you have to place Gygax somewhere on the Grey Hawk map.
oh yes, we have to do something with that. Yep. Yep.
Well, it's in Lake Geneva in Walworth County.
Yeah. So we have to
Walworth
play.
Island
Maybe it
somewhere.
goes on in Walworth
Well, we
Island.
have a Walworth County in Greyhawk, so we have to make a little
Yeah.
lake and call it Lake
County
Geneva
Walworth.
and do something with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because we have a county of Walworth in Greyhawk, so that's canon. So yeah,
By the
so
way,
we can do something with that.
This
Yep.
guy right here, I didn't see him smile a single time over since Wednesday. So, I have to. I am going to quote a movie. Hey Whitey, where's your hat? I was told you were going to bring your Carl Spacker leaf out.
Yeah, did you left that at home?
I offered to let Anna wear it during the
Oh
show
yeah, but
on
that's
Sunday.
said it's your thing. Yeah, it's
And
your thing.
she took it, and I don't know where she put it.
No, I didn't take it. I didn't even touch it. Yeah.
Yes, because as the honorary lady of the SWAT Squad squad
Yep,
from my adventure group.
Yep.
But I'm glad to hear how ecstatic you are and how great it went. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to ask, since you may be an insider on this, what is next year's plan? Is it going to be 2 weekends? Is it going to be an extended
Yeah.
week? Do you guys have any ideas yet? Are you working on that?
We've got ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have any real plans yet, but I think everybody likes the idea of a 2 weekend
But,
thing, and not
but it's
necessarily
important to
stretch.
tell them why next year is so
Yes.
important
Yes.
too. So.
Yeah.
True.
right?
Next year is 2024. That is the 50th anniversary of when Dungeons and Dragons was created. So it's going to be a big year, and we expect it to be a lot more people here and a lot of excitement around just the history of where we're talking. You know, so.
You told me 2850 was the total attendees.
That was roughly what it was.
All right.
this
So
year.
what was the peak? What was the GaryCon peak in person?
Yeah, so I've been telling everybody this year is almost equivalent to 2019, which was the last year before COVID.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same. I think it's same excitement as we had back then. I think maybe a few more people, but
Where were they?
yeah.
Where would you have put them? We're like we do this like because this place is a resort, right? It's not a regular conference center. It's gorgeous. It's the old, and it's very comfortable. But we have all these different rooms. It's not like one giant, whatever hall. There's all these, like where did you guys game last night, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
Right. That was them.
So 2019 was different in the sense that back then the exhibitors was a smaller group. So the exhibit hall was the ballroom, and then all of Maple Lawn. I think we had the annex. I don't even remember. I think we had the annex, which was a secondary exhibit hall. But all of the forum that we have now, where the exhibit hall is, that was all gaming, and that space can hold a lot of tables. So
What was the volume in
we
there like?
had a lot of player tables available back then, but that room is just horrible for gaming. It's so loud. Even
It's like a regular convention center.
you can only there's only one wall, so you can only make it like
Partition at once.
one
Yeah.
space. And Adventurers League was in one of the sections, but then the other big section, it was just so noisy. It was
Didn't make sense.
unmanageable.
It seems like it's a good solution.
Yeah, so like I said before, that's by far the natural place to put
'Cause
the
I-
exhibit hall.
I could not figure out where we're going to fit another table, and
Yeah.
the tables were sitting there doing the
So the
Tetris
year,
table
so
thing.
so that was the year before COVID, the year that we had to cancel, and that's probably the other thing I just have to call out. Think about where we were just a couple of days ago. Starting this convention. So 2 weeks prior to that, so 2 weeks ago, is when we found out, or was told, sorry, you can't have your convention.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so that's the year we had to cancel the first year.
I remember, man.
So that's
Yeah.
how close we were to
Right.
having the con.
Yeah.
And that's, and so the crew, Josh was part of it, that turned that whole convention around from being physical to virtual.
Yeah. I remember
Truly
it was a
amazing.
huge scramble. Yeah.
Truly amazing.
And I streamed.
Isn't that where we met?
It was
virtual Gary
Yeah,
Con?
so
Yeah.
I was actually I was signed up for 12, and we didn't do 12, and I didn't participate in it. But 13 was where you and I met, and then we took it from there. But I think I ran
And
I
it's
think I
been
ran
love ever
16
since.
hours. Yes, I think I ran 16 hours of games at 13 though.
Yeah,
So
boy.
I was
You were doing your work.
doing crazy things then.
We
so.
had
That's just baseline.
we had a Great
Right.
Hawk channel that second.
Oh yeah,
year.
we did. Even we were on
4
yeah.
days and 24
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, I remember.
My
Yeah.
head, my eyes
Yeah.
popped out of my head.
Yeah, that GaryCon and virtual GreyHawkCon have been.
That's
It almost felt like even if I'm just sitting at home, like I went to a convention because it was so many hours of streaming and talk shows, playing games, hosting games online. So it was almost as coming here in intensity, and that was
So-
turning around in 2 weeks.
So
yeah.
the one thing I was going to say though was going up to that convention in 2020. That one was actually going to be much larger than this one. We had pre-sales that would have taken us up to probably 3,300 people probably that year.
Yeah.
And the reason why we could have done it, going to Josh, is not only was the fact that we used the outer buildings, the remote buildings,
Okay.
gave us additional space to use
The ski chalet.
Ski Chalet and the Timber Lodge,
The water park.
right?
Yeah.
This is the
we-
grand.
We're using those spaces this year as well, just in a kind of a lesser, not so much for the game scheduling, but RPEX is down at the Ski Chalet this year. They're doing a great job. They had loads of good adventures.
I was bummed
and
that I
a lot
couldn't.
of their tickets were sold in advance.
I was bummed that we couldn't get that it's like 13 and above for RPEX. That's that live action role play thing, right? So
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
large thing.
yeah, sort of.
it's more like playing D&D
Playing
live.
D&D live. It's not really. You don't go into
It's not
battle
LARPing.
and stuff like
Okay.
that, but you do pretend like you're in battle
Yeah.
and you
Roll
know,
the dice.
Roll
Yeah.
dice. You don't actually do the
Yeah.
duels.
And you move
all
on
that.
to the next dungeon
That's
room.
neat.
You
Yeah.
move on to from. You really should do it next year.
Yeah.
I know. When am I going to do it? I don't have time. What are you trying to do me? I don't have time. Yeah.
Yeah, but then in
That was
addition to
pretty
the
cliche, right?
in addition to the dungeon, they also
Yeah.
do other things upstairs in the chalet.
Yeah.
So so they're really pushing that space down in the.
Hey guys,
in
I
the
gotta
chalet.
run
Yeah.
over with the stuff with, then I'll be
All right,
back.
drive safe.
So,
Stuff
yeah.
and the
So,
things.
are
Hey,
there any
stuff and
expansion possibilities in the future to expand the con and make it
Wanna take
bigger,
that?
or is
Josh,
this
yeah.
the limit? So to speak?
Put it
Uh,
put it like
this-
this. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll
So
take
there,
care of it.
there are some possible. There's challenges.
Yeah.
So obviously Lake Geneva has several other historic locations
Yeah.
that we could run games at.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about Hort Hall.
I would
you know,
say that would be
obviously,
fantastic to run some games there.
the American Legion.
Yeah.
So there are other places there, and non places that are not necessarily historic to gaming, like
Yeah.
the Riviera and places like that, which are
Yeah.
small convention type places, or
Yeah.
the challenges that we have are how we would deal with transportation.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
all the logistic
So,
getting
yeah.
gamers and DMs and all the
Logistics
equipment.
and,
Yeah, best.
and the safety and all of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
liability, that so it gets into
Yeah.
sticky stuff then.
So, Dave, we have a lot of people who don't know who you are or what your
Oh.
affiliation is. Yeah, we're getting that question. Good, so
Yeah.
do an official introduction. please.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay, no problem.
So my name's Dave Conant. My role here at GaryCon is Director of Events. I share that title with Skip Williams. I have been doing this since GaryCon 8. GaryCon 7 was back at the other site, and I just leaned up to Luke and said, "Hey, I'd really like to help out somehow. Think about it. Tell me what you want me to do." And I had no idea what he had in mind, but here I am.
Yeah.
And I've got my fingers in a lot of other areas, so it's not just events, but I help with Mike Noe with the exhibit areas and exhibitors and things like that. Now that Josh is on board, that helps me a lot, because until now I've been the primary tabletop.events guy. So bringing Josh on is going to help me and the time that I'm spending doing this a lot. So my general background is that I worked at TSR from 1979 until 1983. That was my first time at TSR. I think I was employee number 32 or 33 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at that time, Skip Williams and I ran Gen Con. So I started
Yeah.
didn't start out running Gen Con, but quickly moved into that.
Yeah.
And Skip and I ran 3 Gen Cons over at the Parkside, so those years. Then I was part of one of the big downsizings that TSR had in the 83.
Were you the
era.
first project manager, real project manager there?
No, I was never a project manager.
Not there?
No.
Okay.
No, I was. I just. In fact, Skip was convention coordinator, and I was his assistant
Okay.
in those
Yeah.
years. So, but those were busy years. That was for that job. It wasn't just Gen Con. We also had. We expanded to Gen Con East and Gen Con South,
Yeah.
Gen Con West.
Yeah.
We had 3 mini conventions every year as well, weekend-long conventions. Those were like American Legion and Hort Hall type conventions. So we were
And then I
pretty
just
busy.
laid there awake for like another.
So that was the first time I worked. I went off
We're coming
and
down.
did other things for a few years and came back and worked at TSR again. I think it was in early '93. Maybe it was late '92, and then stayed until they were bought by WotC and moved out to Seattle. And
Yeah.
I was offered a position and decided not to take it.
Yeah.
But at that time, I managed their pre-press department.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
helped to take them into the digital era.
Cool.
So that's my history.
Yeah.
I mean, before working at TSR, I graduated in '78. So, I was one of those geeky high school kids hanging around the hobby shop in the mid '70s when they opened up and just
It's a
drooling
generational
over all
thing.
those first edition D&D
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, I guess Rob Kuntz would be the first one, right? And then you, and then Eric Mona and James Jacobs, and in that generation, and it's just like wow,
Yeah.
a lot of them work in the business and industry, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Nowadays, in addition to GaryCon, I also help a good friend of mine, Tom Wam. He's kind of I consider him kind of a legend in this industry as well. He was a very early TSR employee, like number 7 probably. Or
Single
something
digits,
like that.
for sure, yeah.
And so anyway, he's been around a long time, has prolific board game design efforts, and so he's got so many. He's got a lot of games that have been published, but even more that haven't been published. And so I told him I'd help him out by trying to get more of his stuff published, so get it into the hands of people. And so this past year, we've crossed the first year milestone. So we've got 5 games out in the first year.
Wow.
And I'm hoping for 4 to 5 again this year. So,
Yeah.
plus we have some subscribership, Patreon style subscribers that are, that are on our side as well.
Yeah.
They really help to carry us through
Sounds very
this production side of stuff.
Anna's the queen of the Patreon, so we gotta get Anna.
Gotta
you
talk to Anna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anna's got a rabid Patreon following. So.
Well, yeah, I managed to get about 10 new ones to this convention, so it's great. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Anna,
Yeah.
which ice cream do you want?
How helpful and sweet.
Ice cream, I want chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah, there's no chocolate on there, so I think
There's
that's
options
Okay.
on
Oh,
paper.
yeah, vanilla. Let's see, raspberry.
Get the bourbon one.
Vanilla.
What's on the agenda for the rest of the? Yes, Anna, go Anna, absolutely.
scoot up. I wanna
Yep.
sit by Jack.
Yep. So it's
I feel like I haven't seen it at all, hardly. Sit by Jack.
I'm sitting by you. I'm accommodating the seat.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes,
We put Curtis
many.
back over there.
Yeah,
You can sit at the end. Everyone, Slop Squad Squad.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
Thanks for the.
yeah.
Thanks for the chat. If you want to hang a little bit, we're going to talk
please.
about like some of the games that went on and some things. We're just going to BS for a while, like we did last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a fun discussion.
Yeah.
I appreciate you asking me to join you for a little while.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next year already. It just was such a great year this year.
Yeah.
I am too.
It just
Yeah.
one step beyond last year, and then continue with that. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine what the fundraiser will bring next year,
Yep.
and all the other wonderful events,
Yeah. And-
the discussion on how long it's actually going to be. That's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully I will have 2 seminars. I'm thinking about having 2 seminars
you
next year.
stop
It's kind of an easygoing introductory one, and then a deep dive, because I've kind of shell shocked half the audience this year. So I'm going to have a kind of a light introduction, and then that could be shorter, and then a longer, more workshop style thing,
Yeah.
so to speak. So
Have you guys talked about the Zeb winning the Lifetime
Not
Achievement
yet.
Award
No.
no,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah.
That's
That's a
give us
very
a
appropriate.
synopsis of-
Please. Yeah.
I can't share a whole lot, but I don't know a whole lot. But Zeb, David Cook, known as Zeb, he has been a designer in the early days at TSR. Did a lot of cool stuff. I couldn't name any of it off the top of my head, but very prolific designer. Worked at TSR for a long time. Moved on to other things
Lost
as well.
City is
Yeah.
Lost City.
Lost City, I think, is
Yeah.
his. Did
Yeah, we had him on
He
the
did.
show
He,
once.
so his first thing though was the expert set.
Well, the Olive Drake.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he did the expert set, and
Look, oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we had him on the show once, and
Oh, did ya?
oh yeah, we have had him on the show and interviewed him and stuff. So that a very worthy
Oh, yeah.
receiver of that
Well,
lifetime.
and when he left when he left TSR,
Yeah.
he moved on to bigger and better things, and
Yeah.
Well,
just
and-
really has done amazing things.
And he stayed in at least in adjacent businesses, so to
He
speak.
did.
Yeah,
That's right.
Afterwards,
Yeah.
so yeah,
And I loved the stuff that he did in the Elder Scrolls, and
Yeah.
I've just been a big fan of his for a long time.
yeah, definitely.
So reward for him. So good for
Yeah.
for him.
He was very genuine when we got him on.
Oh yes, he had a
At
lot
one
of
time,
the cool little anecdotes and to tell us a lot of the story behind several of the products
Oh,
and stuff.
good.
Even if he didn't work on it specifically, he was still there. He was participate in all the discussions behind it and stuff like that. Because it's often interesting to hear the story behind it. Why was it developed? Why did they choose to include certain things, or why were certain things not included and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Oh, that's always interesting
Yeah,
to
so it's
find out.
to hear
So-
some of that. So yeah.
So one of my favorite Zeb Cook things. So my best friend and I were obviously two young kids that were totally into D&D and whatnot, but we were growing up, right when computer games started being, fun and cool.
Yeah.
But Zeb, along with Jim Ward and I don't remember who else, but were responsible for Pool of Radiance. And Pool of Radiance was the first
Yep.
one of those modules and things that they did that all of a sudden was
Transcended, 'cause
yeah.
Yeah.
It went as a
Toolbox
module.
and
It went
that,
for
yeah.
for the it was
Yeah.
everywhere all
I,
of a
I
sudden.
still have my Pool of Radiance box game.
And I
Yep.
remember Dave told a little bit of the story about how SSI and TSR started that cooperation
Yep.
and stuff. That was really interesting to hear.
Yeah.
It was.
Yep.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours playing that three. I think it was a 3-box.
Yep.
Yeah, something
Set.
like that. Yep.
Yeah, that
It
was a lot
was.
of fun.
Alan, you gonna get the door there? Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank-
Awesome. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Dave.
Appreciate
We're
it.
gonna
Yep.
bring in another special guest here.
The guy in the yellow.
Second, yeah, the guy in the yellow.
The guy in the
Also, we
yellow.
have Andy here.
Guys, hi
And
everybody.
we have Alan.
Andy,
Yep.
we have Alan Brody, the Boat Dog back. He's on Wednesday night.
Yeah. Have you packed everything
Gygax
away?
Scenes, hello to some
Good.
friends here.
Yep. Awesome.
We'll have Luke hop on in a second. And, just having a fun time here tonight, just chatting.
Oh well, that we can change seats if you think it's too warm.
So,
yeah.
so Alan, what'd you think of
Oh,
the
sit
Ren
here.
adventures that the community and Troy and all put together?
Oh, they look great. I really enjoyed playing the one back at Virtual Greyhawk Con a lot, so I was
Okay.
really looking forward to them when they finally came together.
Yeah.
And they look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was the
really a
yeah
wonderful job. by
one of
Ryan.
our the Greyhawk community little anecdotes that I think will go down in Greyhawk fandom history, so to speak, that we have them available.
And I think we've got a few more in the pipeline.
There is more stuff coming. Yes, I can't go into the details because I don't know all the details. So I might say something that is not going to be true. So I'm going to skip on the details. But I know there's several different projects in the pipelines in various stages of getting it together, so to speak. So yeah.
Yeah, and I found at least one more tournament from Gen Con
Yep.
that
Yep.
I think we didn't have before.
Yeah,
So.
and Troy is working on other stuff too, is my guess. That he has so many fingers in this pie that are so interesting. He's so prolific. So we need to have him on the show talking about stuff. So yep.
Troy is a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. But he should come on and talk. We
He
can
should,
see if we
but-
can,
but,
because he's such a center person when it comes to making this happen. So.
I said this from last year. I'm feeling better. Last year I was getting Conant at this time. This year I'm getting over the head cold.
I was deeply going into deep concrete that I thought was going to be serious COVID, but I didn't test myself on the way home. But I felt completely miserable, and then I got home and I tested myself 3 times, and I was negative all 3 times. So it was like, yep, it was just severe concrete, but it was real bad. So yeah, but I didn't catch. I thought that now I got COVID, but nope, it wasn't COVID.
Jeff says,
Dustin,
I am
yeah.
con crud.
Yeah.
So here's my memory from the Zeb Cook interview. He's talking about Vecna Lives. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to just really mess things up, I think is what he said. So in the first, 2 paragraphs, he kills the Circle of 8. Right? And then it's like, well, we'll go from there. So that was what I remember distinctly.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Which was yes. These Vecna adventures are rough adventures. Yeah. So Luke's got some friends here. He's talking to
Yeah.
me in the morning.
Did you manage to do some gaming and
Yep.
stuff like that, or was
So,
that all booth work?
Yeah, we got ice cream coming,
I did,
but so for Random World, like if you have one con that you can pick to go to, this is the one. Like there are no cons that are money better spent to go to than this one. You can go to the biggest ever, right? So that's really San Diego Comic-Con. You can go to the biggest fantasy and sci-fi, which is Dragon Con, right? Better cosplay, I guess, than any other cons. But when you go here, it is family. It is 2,800 of your closest friends. Everybody is just as casual and as nice.
Yeah.
And you get to meet more people per capita here who are key to everything that has gone on
Yeah.
in this industry than any other place too. This is the one that you choose to go to first, bar none.
I asked Mandy to link her Instagram because when you see all the pics, she has one-on-one pics of everyone she got. It's just awesome. So, really, really cool. Just the people you meet.
I got very
The
lucky
legends
this
of
year.
gaming, they're just normal people.
Yep.
Alan, I know you were down at that booth the entire weekend, and did you get some gaming in at least?
Yeah. I got to DM on Friday night in Paul's tournament, Paul Stormbridge tournament, which was very fun. It was a revisiting of the ruins of the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Love it.
And the winning teams, I believe, I didn't hear the final result yet, but I think that there were 2 teams that tied, which I think is a first for the tournament.
We know Justinius was one of the winners in Czech.
Yeah,
Johnson.
I've got the list, so I'll look that up real quickly. But it's a definitive list as to who actually won it.
Oh, that's
too.
great.
So
I have to ask though, was Vampire Frommel running around that adventure? Please tell me no.
No Vampire Frommel that I recall. No.
Oh, good. No one found him. Yep.
Yeah. And then on Thursday and Saturday night, I ran one of Gary Gygax's unpublished Castle Greyhawk maps.
Oh,
awesome.
So that was
Yep.
great.
So Alan's absolutely right. 118 points. I don't know what the tiebreaker ended up being, but the group that won was Team 9 with Game Master Steve Winter. They had 0 deaths in that group too. Actually, the top 3 all had 0 deaths.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
Yep. And the winners included Gregory Johnson,
Yep.
and Danny Villanueva, Joe Allen, Reed Allen, Edwin Stallnecker, Jeremy Wilson, Jason Generu, I think is how you pronounce that, Jeff Sordos, and Wayne Brecky.
Okay.
So, yep. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And then did they tie on points for a couple of the teams, or did they end up
It
differentiating?
was tied on points, but they didn't tell me how.
Okay.
But they differentiated. But
Greg
they did,
says,
yeah.
Justine says in chat, they had more encounters, so that was an official tiebreaker.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, there's Sir Andrew.
Yeah.
It's like an all-star.
Yeah, it is.
Running through here.
If only Andrew would pay attention. So,
Yes. We got him last year.
yeah.
So, Guild Warpers. Yes, go ahead, Alan.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So Paul's tournament is the largest tournament at the convention every year, and it keeps growing.
15's a lot.
So if there are dungeon masters out there who are available on Friday nights and are comfortable running a table of 9,
Yeah.
Paul could always use some additional
Hello.
DMing help.
Yes.
That's a very nice volunteer
That's not the guy
badge or
Oh, is that the sash?
sash. Yes.
Why do you have that now?
Yeah,
Just like that.
it's a mystery.
The old
I put
fashioned.
two bitters in yours, right?
That's right. You got it.
So we got Josh's wife's on the
Thank
ice
you.
cream run for us. So I actually had a work member in one of my games here. So let's see if I can get him on real quick.
Kramer.
He can have my seat. Yeah, he can. I gotta go eat, so he can have my seat.
Hey,
Yep,
Enoch,
yep.
I see you in chat,
Thanks,
buddy.
Alan.
I see you, Enoch. I love Jeff's sign. Did you see on Instagram I posted the picture of you with the Dungeon Mommy sign?
It's an honor whenever I'm working on playing.
Dungeon Mommy?
Dungeon
Sorry.
Mommy? Sorry.
Dungeon
Yeah.
Mommy? Sorry.
Wait a minute. So the night that it was 2:30 a.m., who was serving you all your drinks?
Well, that was Friday. That was also in the bar. You stopped.
That was the first bar. Yeah, that was the first bar.
That's the other bar.
Yeah, I know.
Lobby bar.
Yes.
Just introduce yourself to the audience. We're live here. It's okay. You look the
Oh, yeah. Michael Newman. Had a great time here at Gary Con.
Awesome. A member of Warp for how many years?
Since 2020 Gary Con, actually. So 3.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
2 virtual attendees and second time now in person.
Excellent. What were some highlights?
Your game. Not to kiss up as bad as that
Thank you very
sounds, but that was a wonderful experience. All the games this year were good. I can't complain about anything, and some were great, and some were spectacular. So.
Fantastic. Great to hear. Year 2 of doing this and streaming a lot of content, and everyone's kind and everyone. You meet a lot of different people, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. As long as you don't get ill during it, right? And that's just
There you go.
2 years in a row. So.
It's like the biggest home game in the world, so to
Yeah,
speak. It's like
absolutely.
it's a gaming with friends.
What was something that you might you missed? You might want to have done.
Costume cosplay contest, right?
Yeah.
The first year I went, I filled every possible slot I could with games, and then learned that's not necessarily the best approach. So,
Yeah.
I did have a game or a day, boom, 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 3 slots, but another time I left a slot open. Had one big long game on Saturday, 8-hour session, but that was my only session. And you need time to interact with people and meet up with friends and enjoy some time socializing down at the forum, shopping, supporting the vendors. I found it's good to mix up some games too. I mean, D&D's my primary, but less so this year. But last year I did some Numenera, a Traveler game.
Traveler's fun.
Actually, I did an Ogre board game.
Oh wow.
This time around, want to do a top secret maybe next year. So
I got the disturbed parent one, whatever that one was.
Okay.
I got the one that said bourbon on it.
Thank you.
Is that the same one?
Do we have
Right. Do I just need to lick it?
It's a tradition because last year I got accused of stealing ice cream.
Exactly.
During the show.
Yeah, you just grabbed it and it was someone else's.
The ice cream is rotten.
You gotta get here early for the ice cream.
Yeah.
I realized I arrived a few minutes too late.
Exactly. You missed it.
That is what I will
Hold
do.
on, which ice
differently
cream is
next
Curtis's,
time,
and make sure you
arrive
give
a
it to
little
Jay.
early.
Yeah, where's Curtis's ice cream?
The early bird gets the ice cream, right?
Well, I really appreciate you playing.
I don't
my
even
game.
think he
Thank you
ordered
so
any.
very much.
He gets
I'm
none.
glad you
He was away
enjoyed
from the
it,
table.
And I had a blast.
that, coffee?
3 times.
Espresso bourbon.
Love doing it in the morning. I don't know if I do night events. I kind of like wandering more and hanging out socially and watching these guys drink down the entire jug. What do they call it?
The buckets?
Buckets of spotted
Buckets of-
cows.
yep.
Right, and
Yeah.
so
I had one spotted cow, and that was
Spotted
in
cow
that
is really
definitely.
I like to
Yeah.
get games done in the morning.
Yeah, for you lightweights that like beer, I mean that's okay. I mean I like beer too, but just saying.
I'm
I
normally
save room for
the good
things
stuff.
like old fashions and
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm more of a liquor person myself. But
He's never gonna come on.
spotted cow is good.
I
hate
never
beer.
I never
hate beer and I
drink.
like
Stood
it.
behind the
Never
camera.
drank
Remember last year?
before
And
in
he's
my
like,
life.
"Hey, what's up?" And then he walked away. So.
I believe that.
What's if you can't tell us, what's a warp highlight coming up in like the next 6 months?
Uh-oh.
Warp highlight?
Yeah, like do you have like any special events that are going on?
Well, there's other conventions that a significant
Okay.
number go to. Game Hole, Gary Con is probably the singular biggest presence.
Did you tweet
some
that
go to
you're
Gen
streaming?
Con, obviously, North Texas Con. But that's like on the individual, and then hospitality and things are arranged. Just a lot of different campaigns.
Right.
There's not a singular special event.
Yeah, I did. I didn't tweet it on. I'm sorry. I overheard 372 members now.
That's what I heard.
Not just any other one.
Over
Not just
300. Yeah, I wouldn't stake my life on the exact number.
How many were here?
34.
34. Okay.
Now 372 is, I believe, like lifetime
Members, somebody
members.
Someone poke
Exactly.
Garner for me, please.
They're not necessarily all
Okay.
I
active
poked you
members.
All right.
for Tempest.
That's
Okay,
probably getting
we'll do
close.
it.
That's probably getting close to 100.
Then it passed.
I'm having to respond to somebody else on
Craziest
Twitter
element,
first. So.
not in a negative way, but just
Waiting for the next one.
a degree of insanity is it's one dungeon master.
Jim Ward?
No, Andrew Scott.
Andrew, okay. Jim's a special allowed DM, right? Aside.
Well, but he's not running things on a regular basis,
Okay.
other than maybe like a Metamorphosis Alpha
Love it.
Okay,
or
okay.
Gamma World type thing. So yeah, my
One
mind's thinking
DM.
Want GM to roll them off.
How's he doing?
everyone asked that same
Oh
question.
my gosh.
That'd be like Monday night,
I did not make
Tuesday
the
night,
connection that you're
Wednesday
chaotic.
night,
That
maybe Thursdays
that
off,
would be the
Friday night,
worst.
Huh?
Saturday afternoon,
Why?
Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
I was DMing 5 times a week like that. Oh
His
my
wife
Oh,
is a
yeah,
saint,
yeah.
apparently. I'm not sure anyone else has an
If I
arrangement
did
that would
that, I
allow
would
for
say
that
well,
much
I wouldn't want my
change.
boyfriend
How
to
often?
be neglected.
I did not
How many days a
realize
week?
that.
5.
Well, I mean, it's occasionally
Wow, that's
7.
ridiculous.
But I
I
mean,
think
Sundays
that's
there's
five.
multiple, like on weekends, though, so you're like, oh, I had a
I
campaign
hate
session
you
games
so
like 2
much.
2 o'clock to 6, and then like, oh wait, there's another group starting at 7 to 11.
What are you guys
Wow.
doing?
Nothing. Not
They're-
a thing.
they're-
We wouldn't be up to anything.
You guys are so full of it.
Oh, okay. They're busting your stones?
Yeah, they're, yep.
That's okay. Lots of fun things going on live. So I really appreciate you hopping in here. Thank you so very much. And thank
If only we had room for this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I can create some
Let's
space
add, yeah,
for,
let's add a chair.
Great
Thank
seeing
you,
you
Jay.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so
Likewise.
much.
Great show.
And we will
Do
see you
appreciate
next year.
And every year thereafter, I hope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Do it again. You want me to poke Garner again?
Poke
What
around
the
as
heck?
much as
Okay,
you
I'm
can.
poking
All right,
it. Here you
everyone,
go,
special
guys.
treat.
I'm paying attention. I don't know what she wants.
Even Duff got in on it.
God damn it. Not
Getting my
Duff
melon in the
too.
right spot.
You're good. You're perfect. Perfect. We got it there.
What was that? Let's roll on. You ready?
You're perfect.
You should be recording when he says you're perfect.
He did.
He did. He is
Oh,
recording it.
So-
He never gets on camera. There we go.
There you go.
The
Wow.
Miss Sir Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
So we having you on the show this year, yes? Yes.
Available and willing.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
And
Who won in a
also
minute?
this.
Oh,
You
he's
are-
recording that from now on.
Get him on the Slap
you
Squad
are-
Squad.
you are
But I wasn't here either, so.
At Virtual Greyhawk.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
am running the first session of Bay of Sorrows. Virtual Greyhound.
I
Yes.
want to play in that.
Yes,
That sounds
so
so
we're
fun.
gonna have to figure out how to prioritize sign-ups on that.
We have 200 people signed up for the series.
Wow.
Obviously, on the waiting list is scary, so you tell me who, and
I will. I really appreciate. This will be our 4. Virtual Greyhawk 4. Yeah. Enough.
Nobody takes it. I'll take it.
I can't eat too.
two tournament sessions with a little over 3,000 players.
Wow.
When?
I think it's somewhere north of,
I don't know.
it was some horrible number of hours, so I can't even, it's a lot.
So you're DMing everything, and Jim Ward wants in the Blue Moon for some side games.
Jim does a celebrity game for us, for the guild, as a thank you for being a member, and he does that on Wednesday night after Martell's Pizza Party.
Okay.
And that's sort of the tradition. He runs that one game, but I DM for the, I do,
Well-
we run 16 campaigns monthly, and I do 20 to 25 sessions a month, a little under $1,700 a year.
Jim
I'm
is
not the only crazy one.
well, but Jim, is always so proud of how many people he kills. But it seems to me that with what you're doing, you got to kill way more people than Jim does. Way more.
Conversation, and he's like, people are actually afraid of you.
See,
I'm like, no. Works out.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's awesome.
Organization you have, and
It's fun. It's a big group. We're about 34 people this year, so we're like a small, obscure gang. Works out well.
That's
I'm
awesome.
waiting for
It
Richard.
is,
I think I'm the only one who asked for the Italian icing.
1976. That's
7th of June.
impressive. Absolutely.
All right, so feel free to give me a call. Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Talk to the man who matters.
Yeah.
It's all,
Great meeting
everyone,
you.
here, everyone here has mattered this year. It's been a huge participation.
Fabulous. Probably the best Gary Con I remember.
I think it was the best.
Really, really.
It's the best one I remember.
And you know why?
And I heard that you've been to a few.
Yeah.
It's because it's Luke. Luke did
It was
everything, absolutely everything.
100%. It was definitely my command presence.
All the time.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Dishes are not.
That's right.
Next-
That's right.
next
That's
patent right
that's
here.
the philosophy. That's the philosophy that we have at Gary Con, is that it's all about Luke.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
Might as well.
Yeah.
All hail my
This
liege.
was a fun week.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Is that for me? Thank you, darling.
It was ice cream. We have an ice cream dish.
It's ice cream
now
Sunday.
Yeah.
because of what happened last year when I stole.
Oh yeah, Jay just ice cream, and he just took Peter's ice cream and ate.
He's still sore about it,
It's
Jay.
ice cream Sunday.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Jimmy Duffy is hitting on a plane right now. It is all in caps about you.
Yes, that's right. Jimmy knows.
Still sore
Oh
about
my gosh, this is so good.
Hey Luke.
Yeah.
Have you met the Mandy?
Please stop it.
We're harassing her online.
That's
so.
the Mandy.
She gets a hype team
Did you,
when she
did
comes
you hear
to
them at the
Gary
bar
Con.
last night?
I did not.
Yelling at me.
It's because I was working,
Yeah.
doing Gary Con stuff. So
There you go.
Yeah.
At
That's
2
it.
o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, work in the room, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, I was gaming till about 11 last night. I was playing in Jeff Talenian's Hyperborea games, super fun. Playing with Skip Williams and Robert Bent, who got the limited wish scroll.
glad I
So,
got this.
and that's the
Oh.
game he chose to go into. Is there and play. So we had a blast.
Awesome.
Nice.
And that's the thing. You get together and you're with some friends and some people and you play, and that's what it's all
I got a
about.
question for you, Luke.
Sure.
Go for it.
Of all the new stuff that was implemented and brought to Gary Con this year, what was your favorite?
I mean, boy, there's a couple things that. So okay, I would say the autograph booth was probably the thing that people liked the most, because instead of having to try to guess where you would find someone that you want an autograph from, or interrupt them during a game or during lunch or something like that, there was a place to go. And our vendors liked it because it created some foot traffic down there. So,
Yeah.
so that autograph table was great, and I know a lot of people who come to Gary Con, who are guests, come to play, not work. And sometimes working autograph booth, especially if you're doing it for hours, that does become work, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in and out for 50 minutes, it's not that bad. People know that you're there, and you get to, chat and meet a few people. So I think that was really cool. And then we had a new, I guess it's game, or a gaming offering at Gary Con. That was the Search for the Seal of Gax. It was a beta test run for it. It's essentially something you can play while you're at Gary Con over, each day is a discrete day, but they're linked.
Oh, wow.
And you work through the light. It's like you get a puzzle. So obviously there's a storyline, right? Then you get a puzzle, a clue of some kind, which you have to translate or figure out what the puzzle is and submit your answer, right? If you get it correct, then you get to go on to a live play later that day, right? So you can get your clue, do the written part, and then just make sure you're free for like this half an hour period where they're doing a live play. You come in, and the live play only takes a little bit of time, and then you kind of get scored. Did you successfully complete both of those aspects of it? And if you did, you get into a raffle for a prize, right? So it gives you something to do and think about besides the regular RP and that sort of thing.
My son loved it. Absolutely loved it. Where does the cosplay contest fit into that ranking?
That was also really cool. But I'll be honest with you, I had done a little write-up on Zeb Cook, and I had forgotten it at home. So I realized
Does that happen right
I
at the
realized
end of
that at
that,
about
yeah.
1:15,
dear.
and I was going to present the trophy to Dave Cook, Zeb Cook, very within an hour of that time. So I quickly had to run to the villa, get my stuff, and get back over there. So I missed like half of the.
It was excellent, like excellent. So
What I saw was amazing, and I thought Elisa Teague was a fantastic host for that.
she was.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, you mentioned what a good job the autograph booth did, for everything. A couple of people, including Elisa, also stepped in too to make sure that was taken care of the entire time. So,
Yeah.
There was coverage the entire time down there. That's
the entire time.
Yep.
Yep. It was awesome.
It was awesome, and I mean,
great.
I guess this was Larry Elmore's last convention.
Yep.
And so it was wonderful to see Betty and him working behind the counter there, and and he's just always a nice guy. And he and Joe were signing at the autograph booth. That was our biggest line.
He's just some accomplishments.
No, another good one was Todd. So when Todd was down there, like had a lot of good, and obviously Picard is out right now. Coming out with new episodes every week. So Todd is kind of in the spotlight, but he also released that new book about the it's drinks, Mystic Libation, but it's not just a drink book. I don't know if you guys have read it. He gave me one and signed it, and he's so gracious, but it's got stories that go along with it too.
Yeah,
so
there's a story
it's
for each.
fantastic. Yeah.
No, so I mean, Todd's great. This is his second Gary Con. He came here last year, and I just thought it was neat since he got on Picard. The people wanted to, were geeking out over him. It's funny. Margaret Weiss was so excited to meet Todd Stashwood. I told him that he was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Because last year he just blended in with everyone last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
And by the way, Morton Didif and Eleator, the son of Melf, are cousins in my campaign.
Oh, are they?
So yes, Todd's character and Luke's
No,
character.
it's cousins. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yep.
That's
And,
a really questionable family lineage.
Eleator made it to the semifinals in the Joust last year.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yes, so-
that's coming up later this year.
Yes,
So we will have a
track
yep.
and forth.
See if we can
gosh.
part of
Oh, yeah?
defending the.
Get back into
Yep.
yes, sir.
Just one real quick thing, especially while Luke's here,
Yes,
because
please,
I was looking
please.
around the table, and I think more than half the table here, actually everybody in the table spent, I think, a few minutes. Just a plug for the volunteers.
Yep.
Not to toot our own horn, but to get involved with it.
Yeah.
It's something
Yeah,
Brett and I
absolutely.
started doing last year. We get a lot out of it. We love it.
Lunch.
It's, we're at a time, I think, in our lives that after so many years of career and family and everything else, we have the flexibility to do it. I know
Yep.
it's not easy,
Yep.
but there's not an hour that goes by that we don't spend
Yep.
in the volunteers getting to know people and just being a part of things from the
It's-
smallest
yeah.
part.
It's
just
fun to volunteer.
and it really
Yeah.
rounds out the experience because
Yep.
we get our game time in. We usually just bookend it. We help out in the front end and the back end.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed because I mentioned Josh. I conjured him while we were here, probably supposed to be still volunteering, and then he's at the table and giving me the stink eye because Josh runs a strong crew. But just want to give that before we roll out of here.
Absolutely.
So it's a phenomenal convention. It's phenomenal people, and if people are on the fence, get off the fence and do it.
Yeah.
And if you want to volunteer, just email volunteer@garycon.com.
That's right.
And you too.
Yep.
A lot of the community. So we had. What do you think from our community alone? Double what we had last year, right?
It just seemed like
You know?
it was really alive. There was a
Yeah.
lot of people here
We
really
had
engaged.
That's a
Wiley
good word
Hobbit
for it,
here.
alive.
We had DM Dave here. We had
Yep.
Justinians here.
Yep.
Savage Baron. A whole
Yep.
whole crew of people that I don't think were here last year.
Right.
And then I imagine we'll have even more this
And
year.
I think there's
next
already
year.
people in
Yeah.
the community
Oh yeah.
It's great. So
making the plunge and going to come
Yeah.
out. So yeah, it's going to be epic next year.
I think that once badge sales open, don't wait.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because we had over 3,000 people here,
No.
which is the first time we broke 3,000. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was cool. So
and yeah, that means we're gonna
I'll
sell
volunteer more.
I think the volunteering is done unless I'm schlepping drinks for everybody, and I may end up doing that too. Who knows? So it's all good.
Awesome.
Don't worry, they got me to do that too, so I'm there with you.
We didn't get to talk that much. We'll talk about the Champions game you ran and
Yeah.
the other
That was
games we
amazing.
played
Yeah.
in a future time. So.
Absolutely. It's grand.
Yep.
We usually end up talking about GaryCon for at least a few more weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have to have.
People start remembering.
Oh yeah, when we get home and coordinate and
Are you
yep.
guys going to the party right now?
Yes, there's a volunteer party upstairs.
Who?
The man he made.
Stop it. Oh my god. I fell right into that. I'm too tired for this.
Not just any me.
Please
Oh
stop.
yeah.
So Luke, what do you want to see for next year with this
Yeah.
50th anniversary?
Oh, so for 50th anniversary, GaryCon is so big we really can't get much bigger than we were this year, right? Because what's special about GaryCon is that it feels like it's a welcoming place. It feels like a family reunion.
Right.
There's a really nice atmosphere and camaraderie, and to do that would be challenging if we had many more people. I think it would feel too crowded, right?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
we don't want to be on top of each other. So what I'm thinking of doing is, and I've kind of put some feelers out with the hotel, and I think I'm working that direction, is to do a smaller weekend. The weekend before, do a smaller convention, mostly focused on historical, the roots of D&D, what it's done in culture. So that would kind of be the seminar track. Probably focusing on some OSR type of stuff. There'd be no reason we wouldn't want some Greyhawk things there. So that would be important.
yeah.
And I think a featured track, and I have to figure out who the right GMs are and how to do this. But to do, and how I write the scenario, of course. I want to take a group through to start OD&D do like a 4-hour OD&D session, break for lunch, come back and play that same character as a first edition character.
Come
That
back.
is a cool.
Then the
yeah.
next day, second edition,
Yeah.
third,
Yeah.
Wow.
fourth, fifth, and round it
That
up.
will be. That's a cool.
Pretty cool.
So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
would be a lot of fun, depending on what it is, and just really living and experiencing the changes of that character.
Yeah.
And how you would play it, how the play style changes,
Yeah.
and maybe targeting each segment of the adventure, kind of the philosophy of that time of how
Yeah.
things are played.
Yeah. To experience the whole history and evolution of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to play a ranger because everybody's hated rangers from the very beginning. So
No, I liked the first edition Rangers. They were. I liked them.
Rangers get a lot of unnecessary.
It does, but it does present challenges to you, right?
it
yeah.
does. It
Because
does.
what you're fighting. Let's say you had two fighting men in OD&D. Does
Yeah.
one of them become a paladin and one of them become a fighter,
Yeah.
or a ranger and a fighter?
Yep.
And then how about who's the sorcerer, the warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do with Unearthed Arcana? Who becomes a cavalier?
Yeah.
I totally played
The
Cavaliers
thief
too. That was
acrobat
awesome.
The thief
pop in.
acrobat,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So-
Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So
Yep.
how are you going to thread those things?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what about the various player origins, races, species, whatever, however you want to refer to it?
Yeah.
What do you yeah? Because now you could be a drow and you couldn't be
Yeah.
certain times. There's just things. There's just a ton of it.
Yeah.
Some purists on each edition. Yeah. Carlos would be good at that for first
Carlos would be
edition.
amazing.
Oh yes.
Alan
Yeah.
would be good at that for first edition.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could do second.
Yeah.
I could do
Yeah.
one, the 2 part.
Yeah.
and,
I think
We
Mine-
should have
mine would
Casey
be-
here for third edition.
Mine would be 2,
Yeah.
3, and 5. So
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
One and two.
maybe
Yeah.
get Skip Williams to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or Maybe I
Absolutely.
could get Rob Schwalb or something to come
Yeah.
and do.
That'd be
four,
awesome.
and,
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
this sort
Yep.
of
It's
thing.
fun.
And maybe get 3 or 4 groups like that going through it with 6 or 8 people or something.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think
That'd be an
super
incredible
cool.
experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I need to try and bring my family next year, Luke, one of the 2 weekends. I gotta get my wife and my son here.
Yeah.
My son will be 13, I think.
Yeah.
Be hanging out with your kids and Josh's too. So,
Yeah, and,
Roaming
and
around.
get into some
So,
gaming
yeah.
and yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just think of all
The
all
kid gang.
We're just on Sunday. They haven't even loaded up the truck with everything that's going out the door. We're pretty close. We're pretty far ahead, and I'm already having to be like, how am I going to, what's the scenario going to be like? How's this? I'm thinking
Yeah.
about squaring away hotels and stuff like that because people are going to bring. So it's like, oh no, it's like all.
How do you suppress $52,000 raised too, right?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yes.
You know?
that
Yeah.
is so amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
there may
Very
not be a way to do
entertaining
that,
auction as well.
Jim Kitchen,
Yeah.
he hit a home run. So
Yeah.
although he's a pain in the ass, he's still.
Yeah.
I say that with love, Jim.
Yes.
Jim's great, and oh my gosh, he's pretty jovial and plays around during the auction. He's dead serious in the planning of that thing, and he's
Yep.
focused, and he works 6 months. He's coordinating that thing like 6 months out, where we're having
Yep.
multiple meetings with the charity. We had the Yandalorians, part of our group, Matt Yander and his team.
Yep.
They were working the process to promote it, advance it, keep it organized, refine it, document everything that's coming in, and the results are tangible because
Yeah.
I thought we had an incredible year in 22, raising $30,000, right?
Yeah.
We I'm not a mathematician, but
Yeah,
2/3 more or whatever. It's pretty amazing.
2/3 more.
Yeah.
More than that,
Yeah.
really. 75% more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
yeah.
gets harder every year, man.
Yeah.
Because I know we have that same thing. We did 25 this year.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Jude, and I'm like,
Meaning, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Now,
That
we see,
was
now you have to
incredible.
break
Next
that
year,
record
you know,
next
so-
year. So yeah.
Incredible.
But I'm planning to
really
contribute
down
something
together.
special for next year's auction. That's my idea. I'm
Very
already
cool.
setting
That's
it up
great.
for. Yep.
Well, everybody digs deep, and
Yep.
that's what's really really cool. Is my aunt Keenan.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she's not a gamer, but she had she was 17 and sitting at the kitchen table and was sketching something or drawing, and my dad's art budget I think was literally like $2 for OD&D. I'm not even exaggerating. And so he saw that she could draw. He's like, "Oh, well, that's pretty cool," And she ended up sketching, doing a little pencil sketch or whatever of it. I believe it was a hippogriff, if memory serves me correct, on Monsters and Treasures, the third
And
book.
it ended up in
And
one
that
of the
was-
early
that was-
books.
Embroidery.
And-
Oh, yes.
but she did the embroidery of a red dragon rampant, and she's like, and she's
Okay.
like, use
Yep.
the historically kind of
Yep.
accurate stitch, and
Yep.
it was linen, imported linen, and wool.
Fantastic.
It
Yeah.
went for over $1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$1,400
Yeah.
on that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she asked me, she's like, "Oh, how much did that go for?" She's like, "If it's worthwhile, I'll do it again." She put 40 hours into it. It took her 40 hours to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I said, "Went for $1,400." And I said, "Thank you so much." And she's like, "All right, I'm working on."
The next
Whatever
one.
the next one is.
Well, she's gonna make Grogu as a dragon.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, if you could do that, that would be pretty
Yeah.
amazing. I may have to pay $1,000 for that thing though.
Yeah.
My kids.
Once you
So
start fighting, everybody's gonna upbid you.
Yeah.
there's
thinking
nothing
about-
wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
okay.
true.
I like.
It's okay. Yeah.
I also like tricking people into an extra whatever. So we had the DM screen, and we had a winner, and I was like, okay, so if the second place person would match that, I'll do another one and send it to you, and that was actually Alyssa. So Alyssa Faden who agreed to do that too. So. If you don't know her, she's an awesome artist.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
our-
she's
Does our
fantastic.
map every year
Yep.
now, and just an incredible
yeah.
And she
woman.
can
so.
paint miniatures like nobody's business.
Yes.
Oh, really? I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah.
any of
Oh
her
yeah.
miniatures.
She's great at
my
that.
God. Awesome.
Yeah. Whiskey and paint. She's
Okay.
done that on
Yeah.
Twitch and YouTube back in the day. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So-
I think they're at Bill's Meinhardt's house now. I think they went there.
Oh yeah, and they gamed
Yeah.
there before the.
Yeah.
12. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep, that's
I mean,
awesome.
All these things that happen, and like we were joking around, it's all about loot. Absolutely not the case. It is all about teamwork, cooperation, getting
Yep.
stuff done. Anna's been kicking butts.
Well, I've been
and
emergency
taking
graphics creation
So
has
you
been
have
my,
been.
my duty for the convention, so to
And the
speak.
friendship she created.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
it's
and,
great. Yeah.
and of course, Tempest helped you out with that. so
Oh yeah,
that-
exactly. We had a great. I did it,
Yeah.
the templates, and then she did all the rest of the work. So it was awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
I even did an emergency graphics creation while I was gaming with Ed. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, Josh came in. Oh, but we need to do this. So I rigged my laptop and I did that and saved it on a USB and gave it to Josh, and they printed it, and then
I thought it came just to watch.
And as a
no.
bard.
He came in to tell me to fix the
Well,
thing that was yeah.
having 2 drink minimum in person, 3/5. We're missing. Hopefully, we get Tony Winslow Brill and
Yes,
and
yeah.
Eric Boyd maybe.
Oh yeah, Eric
Have the whole
Boyd.
group.
Yeah, that will be so
Yeah,
much
that
fun.
was great.
Yeah.
That was in person. It was unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that was
not
that was one of my bucket lists to game with Ed in person. That was, and now I've done that, so that is really cool. And we got a chance to talk from possible future projects, and we will have him on the Fantasy Mapping Show again, talking about Forgotten Realms cartography and stuff. That will be so much fun. Yeah.
Who told me the story about Vince Vaughn was an extra going into the Boot Hill game, Alan Hammock's Boot Hill game? Can my friend play? And he said, I really don't have a lot of room, and it's Vince Vaughn.
You always have you have extra
that
room.
was a funny story too.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, just a lot of really neat
Yeah.
things happening here.
And
this year.
and now we come up with a cool thing for next year to add a little Lake Geneva in Walworth County on my Greyhawk map.
Yes, we will do
and
that.
and
That's
yeah,
good.
and I'm planning to do a special Gary Con edition of it and print it in one copy for next year's
for that.
yeah,
That's a good
Noble
idea.
Dwarf. And donate that to the auction and then make sure I destroyed all the files and stuff, so it will be the only prints of it and
Plus,
stuff. Yeah.
if I get my act together, maybe we can give a free CD out to Mirror box set. or
Yes, that will be super cool to do that too. Yeah, if we're lucky, we might be able to.
Out
Yeah.
by then, so-
Does the
Yep,
box set
we'll
come
see.
with a t-shirt?
Yep.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
No, no. Don't start the Vampire Throne stuff.
Yep.
God, man, never get away from that.
Yep.
I'm walking to Vendor Hall, Luke's busting my stones. I'm walking up the steps, Ed's busting my stones.
Oh yeah.
my God.
Oh, but you love that part. So yeah.
you're
Mhm.
right. It's-
Yep.
it's
Yep.
endearing, so
Yep.
I really appreciate
But
that.
it-
Yeah, I just said one thing you mentioned is like you mentioned Vince Vaughn or whatever, and yeah, those guys they game with Joe Manganiello, and I met Joe through Margaret Weiss because they were working on some Dragonlance stuff, and Joe loves Dragonlance, and so he said, "Hey, some of my gaming group might show up." I was like, "Okay, that's cool," but they just came here as attendees.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yep.
you know, I just picked out a couple events for them. I said, "Here you go," and I threw them in some events, and they had a great time. And my only concern was that what if people kind of don't give them space?
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? I talked to them, and they said, "This is a great place. It feels so welcoming." And you know, sometimes you go out and you're with 3,000 people, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
He said, people just came and said, "Hey man, how's it going?" And they chatted about games.
Mhm.
And he
Yep.
said it was great.
It's very chill.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very
And so that's so thank you everybody who's at GaryCon, and that's exactly
Yes.
right. We're all just a bunch of nerds together. Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly,
everyone is
100%.
genuine.
Yep.
I mean, everyone just loves the gaming and
Yep.
loves,
Yeah.
loves the friendships that are good.
Yep.
It's a great point. Great
Yep.
point.
Speaking of friendship, what do you think the odds are of us getting the Slav Squad squad
Well,
together?
get-
one
well,
year?
Yes, that would be another awesome game
So
to.
we're gonna work on that. I don't think Luke has played with it in the Slavs, right? Luke's played with two.
You
different-
did play
played
this
once,
one,
yeah.
You did? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yes,
How could I
yes.
forget? How
That
could I
was so
forget?
much
Yeah,
fun.
you have to
Because
remember
Darwin's
your games.
character was hallucinating or whatever. Was,
Yes,
Yes,
you were.
she
Wasn't,
did
Yeah.
that.
wasn't
Yep.
Josh not able to make a game or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was-
Yep.
he
We
had-
got
So
the
you're
perfect
just
replacement.
Josh's
Yep.
squire.
I was
You were-
Josh's squire.
Yeah.
They were like, "Can you just come back and we just leave
Yeah.
Josh?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Squad
dump him
squad
for the
squad
game.
now.
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
That was pretty funny.
Yep.
It's been an honor.
Yeah.
I
And
really appreciate it.
Josh,
Yep.
if you're watching, I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
We got some of them.
Love making fun of him.
Oh yeah.
Curtis is lurking, but I don't
Yeah.
think Josh is probably too busy. So.
And it's
They're
also
upstairs
cool.
getting
I
ready
think
to
there's
party.
a real cool mix of awesome gaming and a lot of cool seminars. I've been to
There's some
several
great
seminars that have been.
Yep.
I went today about the future of D&D with a bunch of people, professionals in the industry, and a bunch of others really deep thinkers in it, and some really cool stuff.
What was the best thing that came out of that? Like, or a few of the best things that came out
The
of that?
few of the best things I think was we talked about the transition into digital and what that can mean, and both
Yeah.
the positives, negatives, and changes into into the future of the game. And also we had people that were there when they did 3rd edition and when they did 4th edition, and the discussions behind. And now, and it was speculative, of course, but that was part of the interesting to do. And then we can maybe sit down next year, a few years, and see how right or wrong we were, so to speak. So yeah.
I saw you were in a panel with Stephen Randy McFarlane. Was that talking about the OGL, or was that one more the future of gaming?
That was past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future.
What a,
Yeah.
what a huge what a huge area to cover in 45-50 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think some of the observations is of course it's got electronics have become more and automations have become more part of life, and so therefore crept into gaming. I don't think that we're going to lose the human element of RPGs
No.
because that's what makes
That's the
it.
basis.
Well,
Yep.
and it's so special in that we all get enough screen time, I think, right? So
Yeah.
it's nice to have some face time.
Sure.
And, I learned during the pandemic that, gaming virtually is still better than not
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
people, right? So
Yeah,
it's,
it's a decent substitute.
yeah,
It is.
Definitely.
It's not bad. And because we're so mobile now, it's not always feasible to keep your group together, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So being able to do VT, and I think adding a VTT to a in-person game, maybe for the guy who's traveling that week, or
Yep.
whatever it is, it might be something that'll happen.
Yeah.
And then for tools, and we'll see, tools, AI, chat box and stuff.
Yeah.
So you might just be able to, as a DM, instead of maybe buying a module or something like that, you might be like, okay, here's kind of the parameters or things I'm looking for, and it pumps out something.
Pumps
that-
out
Yeah.
some encounters.
And-
Right, that,
yeah.
that you go through, right?
Yeah.
That you go through and
Yeah.
maybe touch up a little bit or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And
Yeah.
And
one
so your prep time isn't an hour.
Yeah.
You can come up with
But-
a nice
Yeah,
adventure.
and another thing that I think AI and when you get like voice analysis, whatever, is that computers can record the session.
Oh, for sure.
So you can get a recorded session. So as a DM, you can go back, what happened? So you can, if you wing it and just come up with stuff during the session, you can get a good recording with that. You can go back and see what happens, and that way you can build consistency without too much extra work. Stuff like that.
I really wish I had been there to hear all of this, because A, that's my business, but B, you know, I'm also recording everything that I'm doing. I go back and watch the streams that I had for previous sessions too. But you know, all of the aspects, you know, I wonder, because I've been using all of the main VTTs right now. I'm trying to figure out, you know, which ones you know give me the best quality for the you know lowest amount of prep time. And honestly, I love prepping, so I don't shortcut prep time too. But you're
and also another seminar. And now I have to do a little shout out for one of the sponsors. I'm not paid to say this at all in any sense, but they're setting up something. They use blockchain. Thank you, blockchain technology, and I think that could be something really interesting, especially for organized play, where you can record and stuff, and new ways of running organized games for small publishers, various indie and stuff. You will set up, and even down the line, maybe for something like the Greyhawk community and other gaming communities to run and organize games in a more free form without having to have an enormous amount of overhead and stuff.
And I don't know that you were saying this in particular when you and I were discussing it earlier, but one of the things that I think that this can also move into is artists who, whether it's that you can draw the perfect character, you can draw the perfect sword, or they can get compensated properly for that type of stuff. Where we've got AI that's you know potentially pumping out some other ways to do things, and I know a lot of artists are concerned about the way that works, and that's going to be something in the future. But when you have something that is specifically produced by Anna Meyer, or it's specifically produced by Larry Elmore, and not that he's going to do character sketches, but so that's awesome. So that's great. But when you can say, hey, my character sketch is a Larry Elmore character sketch. Oh my God, you know, and you know, can you get one too?
Yeah, and another area in that I think has great potential is that you can have, if you want to have your own version of my maps, for instance, I can make templates and stuff, and then you can have a tool that can easily change these and add and tweak them to the specific needs for someone else's game, so to speak. So that is and that is coming, and technology like that's coming. So you can take things and you can put like the generic version, and artists can put stuff like that, and then each DM can tweak it for his or her own game, so to speak, and that could be a lot of interesting stuff like that.
I think there's an important counterpoint to consider when talking about AI technology, especially when you're producing games or when you're wanting to publish games, is you need to be wary of the legalities of that.
Oh yeah.
Like anything you type into Chat GPT does not belong to you. It is taken then.
Oh yeah.
So
and
if you
it's
try to
used
publish
for,
it, they could technically go after you.
Oh yeah.
But if you're just doing that for your home game, you know,
and you don't care.
obviously talk to a lawyer and all that stuff when you're using these tools, just to be super safe. But
and then
those are things we have to be careful about. But the potential is limitless. I completely agree with you. Once that all evens out and becomes more normalized, and people are less upset about all that stuff, especially when it comes to the writing. I don't agree as much with the art, but as an artist myself.
Well, I know for a fact, like number one thing you get banged for on Twitch is music copyright. And the second thing is art copyright. So I make sure that I own everything that I put out there. That's why I purchased a shop instead.
That's and that ties into the OGL debate we have and stuff. And now we have more licensing coming out and Creative Commons and stuff like that. So a lot of these issues is slowly sorting themselves out. I think. So
I'm looking forward to what that looks like once things actually even out and it becomes a more safe playing field, a little less predatory than where it is right now for the average user.
Well, you're on the it's the frontiers. It's a little bit of the Wild West. Okay?
Absolutely.
So it's a little dangerous.
I totally agree.
But with the Glimmering, I got a chance to play just today with Stephen Raddy McFarlane, the Glimmering. In the Glimmering, it's like the one campaign name, right, from Ripner, and there's going to be more that are coming, right? And even licensing other folks to create in this type of setting. And it was a ton of fun because he's a really good designer. he's a smart guy. It's fun to talk
Oh,
to him. He's doing
definitely.
it for 20 some odd years now. And so it was fun to sit down. It was the second time I sat down to play with him. First time was virtually, and this is the second time. So I had a lot of fun, and we survived, so that's good. But it's a rich world. So if you want to check it out, theglimmering.com. Definitely look that up. So, I do need to get out of here.
What would you like to shout out?
Oh, shout outs? Yeah, I do. I actually have a Kickstarter coming up April 4th, right after GaryCon. So I'm going to sleep until like April 3rd and then wake up and do But Matt Everhart and I are working on part 3 of our Shintupi series. Or Aya Shintupi, Heart of Shintupi. This will be Fate of Shintupi. And if you want to sign up for it, you can just go to KS, as in Kickstarter, so ks.gaxworks.com, and that's GAXXWORX.com.
Man, he's typing it in.
Awesome. Trying.
Oh, you're the
Autocorrect
best.
hates, man.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
autocorrect hates those. Too many X's.
Got a
Works.
lot of nice comments by Luke. We love you and stuff in chat. Absolutely. So. Appreciate it.
Yes.gaxworks.com.
Thank you so very much for a wonderful time.
Yep, thank
All
you.
right, I'm going to go thank our volunteers.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. You have a great
I'm
night.
gonna follow you up actually.
So, so far, really some great discussions tonight so far. Appreciate y'all hanging in there. Let's see what we got here.
I guess it's 2 X's in Gaxworks.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Autocorrect betrays me again, Chad. I'm posting the correct
Autocorrect
one.
It's trying to betray me too.
Betrayal.
There we go. That's
Yes,
the
sir.
correct link for the folks at
As
home.
your attorney,
You're in, okay.
that's just what Curtis told me to tell you. As your attorney.
I'm listening.
I got nothing. I'm just saying.
Oh,
He told me to
as
tell
your
you.
attorney.
As your attorney.
Oh yes. Curtis is my my secret Fed attorney.
As your attorney.
Yep.
In case I get in any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Brett is your probation officer when you get it.
hey, Mattias, I am staying away from the. Josh gave me the stink eye when I showed up at the volunteer party last year, so I'm staying away from it this year.
What? Hell no.
You
gotta-
know how Josh is.
Yeah, I don't care how Josh is.
Yeah, we need to go out
You
there
gotta,
soon.
you gotta come.
Yep.
So you have to come. So
He's gonna give me the stink eye.
I don't care. We'll take care of it.
I gotta find
We'll
the right link.
handle
That one didn't
him.
work.
Yep.
We will. Yep.
He loves to give you the stink eye.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. That's
Yep.
true. So,
I gotta find that link. It's not the right
So
one.
what else we got going on here? Let's see. I DM 3 games. Learned not to DM 3 separate games.
Two different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So,
a challenge. Maybe cut back a little bit on the content. If it's 2 weekends next year,
Yep.
I got to make sure my wife doesn't throw me out of the house. Some other fun things.
I will try and get
So-
internet to my seminar next year so I can log into my machine remotely and show some real stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
that would be a great idea.
So
If possible,
You know-
to have some sort of workshop would be kind of cool. To have maybe a booth somewhere I can sit and work and put like a TV or something, and then just or something. We'll see. Yeah.
you learn not to run 3 different games. Tempest learned not to run 3 games in one day. She tried to do that, which was a little bit overwhelming, but the last game was very understanding. Last group was very understanding. So for me, it was again, communications is a lot of stuff leading up to the con. And it was a lot of heavy work, especially the march to GaryCon, and trying to get out all of the communications, trying to communicate with all the special guests that are coming in, making sure that we're communicating with the sponsors that are here. And we had every single sponsor was incredible. Really love everybody that participated. So look at our sponsors list on the GaryCon.com website, and please support them as best you can. But most of the heavy lifting for communications was before the con, but there are always things that go on, right? There are always things that kick up, and you've got to push out some communications, last minute and other things like that. And so it was definitely exciting, and exciting as I roll my eyes on Friday with a lot of things that were going on too. But definitely enjoyed this weekend as a whole. It was your team that is responsible for the con is getting better and better every single year, and we're going to just simply continue to get better as well.
It's great to hear.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and I'm looking forward to getting back to some personal things back home too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yep.
Let's see, what did I learn this convention? I learned that this, out of all the Gary cons I've attended, is the first one I did not play a single game the entire con.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
You're that busy?
Yep.
We were very, very busy. The only reason why I got to play in the Aliens RPG game was because it was technically work.
And because I'd already
technically
played
work.
it. So I was sitting right there behind the screen
Yeah,
producing.
he was producing for that. Yeah.
Well, that kind of counts.
I mean, regardless though, I had a blast. I love being
Oh
here,
yeah, I had a blast. Absolutely. I think I'd like to play in some other games that aren't.
I signed up for
next year.
0 events. I just ran and hosted stuff
Mm-hmm.
this year.
I will say
signed up
this.
for nothing.
One really cool thing that happened is we were packing the equipment from here back to the rooms after the late night Aliens game.
Oh
Tom
yeah.
Morello stopped me, and I had my Viking get up and war paint on and everything. He's like, "Dude, that's freaking awesome. Can I get a photo?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
That's cool.
And I was like, "Bucket list item."
That is awesome.
And then we all took a group selfie together. He was
Yep.
really cool about it, even though it's like 2:00 in the
But
morning
you
at this
looked
point.
Yeah.
awesome in that
It was
paint.
very
Oh,
cool.
you did.
That was so cool.
That was.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah, I think next year I might have to actually do the full Viking cosplay for next year.
Yeah,
That-
you can win.
that would
you
be
can
fun.
win the cosplay contest with that.
I don't know.
I
I
was
might
gonna
have to
post the
work out for
Gasworks
that. And I
website
don't
in the
really
chat
want to.
because
You just
Mike
link
Disney,
said
the next
didn't work.
time we have an event, we have a game. Tempest is going to play in the game in your group with the Scorn group, Scorn Rack stuff. Okay, so.
Awesome.
Yep. When we get that rolling, I don't know when that date will be because I got the nerdy guided D&D group, and I got to get a squad game in there too. I got so I'm rotating 4 special groups now because I'm insane.
Yep.
So, but not as insane as Sir Andrew. That is nuts.
That is.
Yeah,
that is
that's
it.
crazy.
Oh my gosh!
That's like my level. of-
27 times a month he DMs.
27 times a month.
I can't even.
And I think doing
can't
it twice a
fathom
month is a lot of work.
Well,
Yeah.
I love it. So I run 4 campaigns, and they're each every other week.
And you make your
And
own
it's just-
content for it?
No, only one of them right now is all homebrew. And the others though, they're passion, and I spend.
But it's still a lot of
heck
work,
a time.
even if you have to
It
read an
is.
adventure path
It
or
is,
whatever.
but
So, yeah.
and I'm running the Goodman Games OAR for Temple of Elemental Evil.
Oh,
Gosh, I love
okay.
that one so
Yeah.
much. But I'm running that. About to finish up Storm King's Thunder. Then I have the personal one, and then I have I started Shadow of the Dragon Queen, and so and I love it. But it's adequate to just have 2 game nights
Yeah.
a week, and they vary, right? So I never stack it up too much. So it's pretty good that way.
You have to.
Yep.
It is a beloved passion, and
Yeah.
sometimes that takes over your life, and then you got to get. I know this. Balance has to come back in somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Just,
It does.
Yeah.
If I can give a little shout out though too.
Please,
So
of course.
So tailing off of that, I got a day job, but in addition to the day job, I love philanthropy work. Philanthropy is what I really live for. So gaming is great, but philanthropy is what I live for. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to marry the gaming with the philanthropy work. And so I've set up Chaotic Good Gaming and chaoticgoodgaming.com, which is going to launch later this year with basically a competitive service for what Start Playing does. So with paid DM services. And so what we're going to do though is provide a higher quality experience for DMs and GMs, provide a higher quality experience for players, and then also everything that we make. I say staff, and it's not really staff. It's other people that are passionate about giving back. It is all about mental health and mental health awareness. And so whether it's issues like anxiety disorders or autism or PTSD or there's so many things out there that are affecting us right now. COVID has had such an impact on our kids. so that it has necessitated changes in the way we educate, changes in the way that we parent, other things like that. And all of this, really leads to a lot of things. And so I just want to, give a lot of attention to mental health and mental health awareness. So when we launch, it's going to be software that specifically is better than what anybody else has out there, to help manage those experiences.
Yeah, that sounds
and
great.
then build off of that to build a community that's all about gaming and role-playing games. So
That sounds
Awesome.
yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
man, what a great discussion tonight. And we had Dave Conant, Sir Andrew stop in, and Luke Gygax, and a lot of the people in the community. Or here, Baron was hanging out in the behind the scenes. We appreciate that, and just what a wonderful time tonight. So, guess we'll go over some shout outs here and see. What time is it? Oh, what? Look at that.
Yeah,
We're
it's time.
only 20 minutes off.
Yeah.
Full time there. Wow.
Nice.
So, who wants to start with some? I'll do shout outs last for us. And
Okay, I'm going to help wrap up here and then fly home tomorrow, and then I will probably take a day off, do nothing, and then on Wednesday we have Legends and Lore again, or do we?
We do, but what's the topic?
I don't know. so I was
I
asking.
don't
Yeah,
know.
so we have to figure something out.
We can do.
Yeah.
Mystery
Well,
Legends
we
and Lore.
can do from the Narwhal to the Sus Fund.
Oh yeah, we had that one.
That's
So
cake for me.
yeah,
There you go,
okay,
there
then
you
we
go.
do that
So
one.
if
That's
we
good.
have to, we'll
Yeah,
do
we
that
do
one.
that one. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see.
I have to get a game going and get my table torn down as well from the.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet from 2
Yeah.
weeks ago. So.
And then
Don't you have people for that?
No, he doesn't have people for that.
Yeah, I thought you had
Don't
a
ask
larger
me, I'm
staff.
done. I'm done working.
Yeah, and then I hope I'll.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then
We've got all the
I'm being-
Mandalorians. We could ship them to Philly. And,
that might be
Yeah.
a gift we can do. Yeah. And then I hope I can get Linda Booth, and on Friday we can sit and have a long work session, and yeah, that will be it next week. I don't think I have any higher ambitions than that next
Okay,
week.
that's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Anna, thanks as always. We need some. We need a little more of Anna in a basic form, because I know you're dead on. A lot of those people are like, I just want to learn how about map making.
Yeah, they was kind of shell shocked a little bit there.
That was
Yeah.
all actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, hey Bash, what do you got? You got anything going on?
Well, first off, I see you, Chet, and you're my people.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Vampire
oh
Thrummel.
my God.
Vampire Thrummel.
Thrommel.
I'm never-
Hell Thrummel and the Mandy. Oh God.
if they just hadn't put Thrommel in the return to
Thank
the Temple
you.
of Elemental Evil,
Thank you very much.
I am not getting into this argument. I
The reason
refuse.
I hate the things I hate about that all the time.
You see, and that's why so much Josh and I keep aggravating him with it because he hates it so much.
That's why he keeps bringing it up, because it pisses you off.
Oh.
It's not my
You gotta
language.
stop letting it bother you, and then they'll stop eventually.
And then
That's why I
Eventually.
did that show. I did that show to get them all out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Philidor and all the
Yep.
other.
Although I thought that Anna was just really hateful about the expedition of the Barrier Peaks.
Oh,
in
yes.
that one.
Oh, that
Yep.
is true.
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
like that at all.
Yep.
But
I have to
it's,
hear about Greyhawk lasers forever since that was. Yep.
But as far as like shout outs, I mean, everybody here is a blast. I mean, the crew, the staff, the volunteers.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
everybody knocked it
Absolutely.
out.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge improvement from last year where we were very limited and, mostly newer volunteers and staff.
Yeah.
And it was like night and day difference this year. So that was awesome. I head back home tomorrow and then Tuesday morning right back to work. So
Right back to
I'm
work.
looking forward to next
Same.
weekend already.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Definitely we're not having special events this weekend. That'll, no. Normal 3-stream week.
Right.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Oh my God.
See? Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Oh, and Jay, speaking of streams, I have one more remaining for the year. So when are we gonna do that one?
Well, I know Duff needs a lot of work in BattleTech still, so we'll get another BattleTech game going.
That works. I just bought some BattleTech stuff.
Yeah,
this week, so.
Nice,
absolutely.
nice.
Get another BattleTech game going, because there's nothing worse than someone running BattleTech not knowing how to run the rules. He's on a plane right now, so he can't hear me. So,
Learn the rules, Duff.
Yep.
Learn the rules. But yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
So, Mandy, what about you?
This week, what's today? Today's Sunday.
Today's Sunday.
I fly home tomorrow. Wednesday, we return with Miss Lost episode 6, so definitely tune in for that. They are about to reach the first town outside of the Veil of Night, and so there's going to be a lot of interesting reveals there because they're finally venturing into the outside world. Friday, we're back with the regular Dinglings game, Dungeons and Dinglings. Both are 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively, Wednesday and Friday. And yeah, just follow me. You know me in chat. I feel like I don't need to shout myself out very much. You see me in chat all the time. You see me on Jay's channel occasionally. So drop me a follow here on Twitch and check it out if you like homebrew and shenanigans and people having a good time. And this was my first GaryCon. I was very honored to be here. Feeling very fortunate to have had the opportunity to come here and meet all you wonderful people who I talk to online all the time. And everybody was very, very welcoming, and the staff was great. The volunteers are great. Just, yeah, it's a great experience, and I really hope to come back next year.
Awesome.
Also, sometime in the near future, Mandy, you have a big surprise that you can't really talk about for the Dinglings.
That is true. That is
rough date.
That is very true. Rough date. We're not going to talk about that now.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else from Category Gaming?
So nothing personal, but we were talking about the volunteers here. One specific group of the volunteers that we keep referring to, and I don't think we explained it yet, is the Yandalorians.
Yeah.
So Matt Yandura has been a volunteer for a while now, and he has a group of friends, and all of them collectively just did an incredibly large amount of work.
Yep.
I mean, and everybody, whether it's the way that Travis brings Chad or somebody else brings somebody else, that's what we keep doing because we're having a rewarding time volunteering too. But the Yandalorians, if anybody doesn't know, that's what they are, and that group of
they handle
8
a
or
lot
9
of auction work.
They
did
guys.
a lot of HQ work and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, and they're the young, strong ones that we have too that can make up for the 50-somethings. So it was very nice to have them here.
Tempest is shouting in chat, "Long live the Yandos!"
Yep,
that's good. Yep.
Okay.
So,
now we have a party to go to.
Yeah, we have a party to go to. Let's boogie.
Wednesday night will be Legends of Our Normal Night.
Yep.
And odds are we'll do from the Gnarly to Sus discussion. I have no idea when I'm running Thursday. So I may have to work on that when I get home at some point tomorrow because I gotta do
Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil.
We are
4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are 5 more adventures to number 1,000. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that.
Yeah.
Till number 1,000, which is technically going to be Saturday, June 3rd. So finally get to there, and
you know what you should do for the 1K game?
we already have it set. So
Or right after it?
no.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's for the next
So the
shared
1,000th game is set. What we're doing, Bill Pepper's working on stuff. It'll be the date, Saturday, June 3rd is what we're looking at. We're going to start in the morning and play like we did when we were in high school and college. And
All day long.
All day long.
You just said Bill Mesh is already working on it.
Yeah, he's already working on the
I'm telling you,
stuff.
see, you do have people.
You do.
Well, I do have people.
You have people.
You don't have people setting up in my house. They're people.
Hold on, Jay. You know what? Next year for GaryCon, you pick the people to play, and I want to run you and your people through Return to Temple of Elemental Evil. just for the lulz. Just for the lulz. For the memes, Jay.
I come here for the fun of it. I don't come here to be tortured.
Memes are funny though, and fun.
They are funny. Look, I got the turtle.
Chat, isn't he such a bad sport?
Yeah,
Isn't
I
he
know.
such a bad sport?
I make memes.
He
up
can't
both
take a
sides, my own
joke.
sterns, I know.
Nobody else is
So-
allowed to joke.
Everyone else is off to the party. I think I'm going to sleep myself personally.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Okay.
Thank you all. We'll see you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See you 2 nights, not 3 nights. Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
However many nights it is.
Back to the normal schedule of letting you know when stuff is and with ads and all
Yep.
that other things. So, yeah,
He
thanks
totally,
for it.
he totally can't
Totally
take a
got
joke.
me there. So,
Yep.
thank
See ya.
you for participating. See you all.
Bye,
Good night.
bye.